it's Rachel, and I'm here to tell you about a few exciting new releases that are coming out today, August 2nd, 2016. And, it's August. Like, how is it already August? That means back to school, and no matter how much any educator loves their job, August is just not the best month for teachers. So, yeah. So we're gonna enjoy some new books and, move along from there. Move along from the back to school talk. But, ironically enough, the first book that I'm going to talk about deals with the school, so can't get that far away from it. But it's called The Assassin's Game. It's by Christy McKay. This seems like a very interesting young adult thriller. It follows students at a prep school who are trying to join a secret society, and the secret society runs a game called Killer. But this year it's becoming a little too real. I believe possibly a body emerges, and they have to find out who the real killer is before they all become the next victim. So this seems exciting. I feel like as soon as I read the description, I thought The Skulls meets Pretty Little Liars. So I'm excited to read it and see if my little combination there is accurate, but I think it's going to be good. Next up is a fantasy middle grade book that is going to be the first, and I think a series. I'm not sure how many are going to be in the series, but I believe it is going to be a series. It's called Patrick Griffin's Last Breakfast on Earth by Ned Rust. The first thing I noticed about this was the title. I thought that was an awesome title. Secondly, it was blurbed by James Patterson as a mix between Home Alone and Narnia. So that seems very, interesting. This basically follows a story of Patrick, who has passed out after some haywire chemistry experiment at school, and he wakes up in this kind of parallel world where there are some strange creatures roaming around, and meanwhile there is a strange creature that has been transported to his hometown who is roaming around trying to save the world. So I don't really know what to expect from this, but it seemed kind of interesting, and I think my students would really like something like this, so I want to throw it out there. Next up is one that I am super excited for. It is The Hike by Drew McGarry, and this basically seems like a crazy fantasy novel that I'm just going to love. It follows the story of a man who has traveled, I think it's to Pennsylvania, it's somewhere fairly normal, and he decides before he leaves his hotel to go on a little hike in the woods. And he quickly discovers that these woods are not like normal woods, and, he encounters crazy creatures, and he's just not getting out of there in the normal fashion. So he has to track down the producer, the person who created the woods, to be able to get out. And this very, very much reminds me of maybe The Odyssey meets something like Ready Player One. It really brings about kind of this fantasy element, while also kind of bringing in a gamer element. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a big hit this year, and this is another one that I think, as long as the content is age appropriate, I think my students at the high school level would really enjoy something like this. Next up is another young adult book that I am really excited for. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting read. It's a historical fiction. It's called The Gilded Cage by Lucinda Gray. And this follows a girl who was raised in kind of a rural setting in America, but with her family, she is moved over to this big kind of castle, this big manor in England, and there her brother kind of mysteriously, I think, drowns. He mysteriously dies. I think he drowns. And she doesn't believe that it was an accident or intentional. She believes that somebody did this to her brother. So she's kind of on the lookout. She's afraid for her safety. And there's all kind of rumors going around about maybe the mansion being haunted or a wild animal roaming, and she's got to figure this out before she ends up the next victim. And I love the historical element in this. I love that there's a mystery element and a strong female character. I just think this will be a great young adult book to add to my high school library collection. The next book is another middle grade book, again kind of fantastical. This is called The Candy Makers and the Great Chocolate Chase by Wendy Mass. This is actually the second book in the series, but I had never heard of the first one. I did find this one, though, because of, I think, the ridiculous title. I think the first one was just called The Candy Makers. But anyway, this is about I think where the first one leaves off, we have winners from some sort of a chocolate candy making contest, and they now are going on tour with the company, but they encounter all sorts of strange adventures and creatures and just shenanigans along the way. And for some reason, this reminds me of like Scooby-Doo. So maybe like Scooby-Doo meets Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this one. I definitely want to look into these because they sound kind of cute, and again, it sounds like something the kids would really enjoy to read. It looked like it had pretty good reviews on Goodreads as well, so I'm definitely interested in this one. Next up is an adult thriller. It's called The American Girl by Kate Horsley, and I think this is going to be a fantastic thriller. Basically, this girl is an exchange student in France, and one day she stumbles out of the woods kind of confused and bloody. Obviously, something traumatic has happened. However, the family she's been living with in France has disappeared at this point. So what happened? So while we're waiting to figure out what's happened, there is a journalist in America who decides to get the scoop. So she comes over to France to try to get close to this girl and find out what happened. However, before she can make it over to France, the French people have decided that this girl is guilty of killing her host family. So this story is told from, I believe, two perspectives, of the journalist as she's getting closer to the truth, and of the American girl, the exchange student, leading up to the event via some sort of like diary, a blog post or something. So I think this is going to be interesting. I love when they do the thrillers like that with the two perspectives that kind of meet in the middle, and I think this will be a great fall thriller. So those are 6 of the books that I'm most excited for that are being released today, and